Now, welcome to you all in this online class. Dear student, as you know, today's topic is the revision of the chapter Delhi Sultanate. As you know, you have already studied it. So only facts will be highlighted, main facts will be highlighted from this part. As we know, Delhi Sultanate has been started with a new dynasty, and that was the slave dynasty. Okay, right? So in this way, this type of question can come: who was the founder of slave dynasty, or name the dynasty from which the Delhi Sultanate started, right? In this way, your answer will be slave dynasty, and this dynasty was started or established by, founded by Qutbuddin Aibak. But we have to learn something before, learn something about the condition of India before the rise of Delhi Sultanate. Okay. Actually, India was divided into many small kingdoms. There were many kingdoms in South India, in North India, and they were on constant war. They were not in united form. All of them used to extend their power at the cost of others. There were some Rajput rulers also. They were also very ambitious. They wanted to extend their power in other areas. So all these rulers made or brought political instability in India. There was lack of political unity among Indian rulers. Whenever such condition prevails, actually it shows the weakness of a country like India. And in such circumstances, foreign powers try to attack, and it happened so also with Indian rulers. Muhammad Ghori was the ruler of Ghor in Afghanistan area. He wanted to conquer India. He attacked and got victory over some area of India like Punjab, Sindh, and other places. This victory encouraged him, and having got boost from all these victory, he tried to capture Ajmer and Delhi also. In that period, in Ajmer, Prithviraj Chauhan, and in Delhi, Prithviraj Chauhan was ruling. He was a very powerful Rajput ruler. So Muhammad Ghori had to face protest from Prithviraj Chauhan because he did not allow him to get victory over India or Delhi. It is why a fierce fighting took place between Prithviraj Chauhan and Muhammad Ghori in the first battle of Tarain in 1191 CE. As you know, the result was what? Defeat of Ghori and victory of Prithviraj Chauhan. Ghori fled away from there, and in the next time, just next year, he again attacked, and on the same place, in the Battle of Tarain, this fighting took place in which this time Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated and killed. So his area or kingdom of Ajmer and Delhi was captured by him. After that, Muhammad Ghori went back to his own country by handing over the right to control this area to his trusted slave and son-in-law Kutubuddin Aibak. And in this way, Kutubuddin began to look after the administration of this area. After a few years, I mean in 1206, Muhammad Ghori died and Kutubuddin Aibak became the ruler of this side, I mean in India. After that, his son or relatives, his relative became the ruler. The dynasty or the kingdom, the dynasty that was started by him was called slave dynasty, and the kingdom that was started by him was known as slave dynasty. Okay, so in this way, Sultanate rule and dynasty was named slave dynasty. Now, here you have to learn two things. Why this dynasty was known as slave dynasty and who was the founder of this dynasty. The 1 minute, you stop please. Wait, I am taking one snap of attendance. After that, I will continue slave dynasty. Okay. This dynasty was known as the slave dynasty because
because most of the people were slave and the children were also slave.
No, here you see, writing is here, region, founder, and most of the rulers of this dynasty were slave or their children.
And the children were
Also
slave.
I mean, the rulers were slave and the successor of the rulers were either the slave directly or indirectly. I mean, all the rulers of the slave dynasty were directly or indirectly slave. That is why they were known as, this dynasty is known as slave dynasty. Now, other term is also used for this dynasty. So, in coming examination, to make your question a twisted question, one question can be asked. Why the slave dynasty is known as Mamluk dynasty, or why the first dynasty of Sultanate rule kingdom was known as Mamluk dynasty. You should have to know, or you should write. It was called the Mamluk dynasty because Mamluk means slave.
But your voice is not clear.
Mamluk means slave. Is it clear? Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It is also called.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It is also called slave dynasty because you have learned the founder of this dynasty was slave, or rest rulers were the children of the slave ruler. It is why this was called slave dynasty. It is also called Mamluk dynasty because the term Mamluk means slave. Who was the founder of this dynasty? Kutubuddin Aibak was the founder of slave dynasty. Is it clear? Now next is about the achievement of the first ruler of this dynasty. Actually, Kutubuddin Aibak was the founder. In primary stage, he had to face many problems. To make himself a very strong and capable ruler, he had to defeat many other rulers or head of the areas, right? For example, they were the rulers like Yaldos, from whom he freed Punjab. He was a great patron of literature, art and architecture. He gave all kinds of support and help to the people who was associated with literature, I mean education, art and architecture. Full freedom, support, facilities were provided by him to get their favor and the progress in this area. He had built Qutub Minar and Qatul Islam Mosque, that is nowadays also in Delhi. His next important achievement was the building of Dhai Din Ka Jhopra, that was built in 2.5 days. It is why it is called Dhai Din Ka Jhopra. Dhai means 2.5 in Ajmer. Next, there were many scholars in his court. Two were very important and most famous. They were known as the literary gems, I mean very precious figure, Hasan Azmi and Mubarak Shah. After ruling very well, I mean in course of ruling, he died in 1210 CE, and after that his son Aram Shah was made the ruler. But he was rejected by many nobles because of his inefficiency and incapability. He was not a good ruler. And it is why his son-in-law, I mean son-in-law Qutbuddin Aibak, Iltutmish, also was made or declared as the Sultan. Right? And he took so many steps to make himself very strong, as well as the dynasty also very strong, made it strong to the slave dynasty. Now next is, after that, as you know, after the death of Qutbuddin Aibak, Iltutmish became the ruler, right? And Iltutmish also was a very powerful ruler. He made Delhi the capital and fought against many enemies to solve their problems, right? He defeated main rivals Yaldos and Kubasta. He saved Delhi from Genghis Khan. Actually, Genghis Khan was chasing his enemy Mubarak Shah, Khwarizm of Shah of Khwarizm. He wanted to get shelter in India from Iltutmish. To give shelter to him means to invite the destruction from Genghis Khan. So Iltutmish refused to give shelter to Shah of Khwarizm by saying him the condition of India was not favorable to him. So he also fled away from here, and Genghis Khan chased him in other countries. He did not attack India, and in this way, by his diplomatic skill, right, Iltutmish saved India from this doom. Now he is famous for his reforms, and one important question in your exercise is also, what were the administrative reforms made by Iltutmish, or mention the reforms made by Iltutmish. Here 4-5 points are given. You have to learn. You already have learned, but here I am highlighting only. He organized Chaliha, a group of 40 Turkish nobles, to run the system smoothly or to rule properly. He divided his empire into iktas to give a better administration to his people. Iktas means provinces. As you know, India is a country, and India is divided into 28 states. Just like that, he also divided the kingdom into provinces that was called Iktas. His third important reforms was introducing silver coins that was known as tanka, and also copper coins he introduced that was called beetle. So from this slide, question can come. What do you mean by tanka? Who introduced it? What was the name of the silver coins introduced by Iltutmish? Now, next, fourth important achievement, he patronized art and literature in his kingdom. And last one, he made Delhi his capital to rule his kingdom properly. Now, next, it is not his achievement, but one important fact is here. In his court, there were many writers, literary gems. Three of them were very important. These are Minhaj-ul-Siraz and Ruhani and Ushami. So these are the names who are Ruhani and Ushami. Iltutmish, his son Ruknuddin Firoz was declared the ruler, but after seven months he was killed, and Razia Sultan was declared the ruler. She crushed her opponents, protesters. He gave higher position to non-Turks nobles because his ancestors or her previous rulers used to give the importance to Turkish novel because of many reasons, but he did not continue this one. He also mixed other communities to a part of the administration, and he gave higher position to non-Turks nobles. She was an able military general and most capable ruler, right? No doubt she was a lady, but she was not an inefficient ruler. She was not less than any other male ruler in Delhi Sultanate, in slave dynasty, especially in context with the administration, war skill, etc. Okay, so she was very capable and able military general. Actually, she ruled for a short period of 3.5 years only, and she was killed in a battle. Right? In this way, these are her achievements. She used to dress up herself like a man while going on military expeditions, attack or fight against the enemy. After Razia Sultan, actually, she was killed in a battle in 1240 CE. After Razia, Bahram Shah became the ruler. He was made ruler by the Sultan, by the nobles, but he was killed in 1242 CE. And after that, Alauddin Masud Shah ruled from 1242 CE to 1246 CE. And after that, Nasruddin Mahmud became the ruler, but he was not very efficient. His Prime Minister Balban became more important figure in administration, and after the death of Nasruddin Mahmud, Balban became the ruler in 1266 CE. Right? So this is the These are the questions. Now, Ghayasuddin Balban, you have already studied about him. He was a strong, capable ruler. He suppressed all the positions. Now, created obedience and patriotism. All these are the achievement of Balban, Ghayasuddin Balban. He believed in complete justice. He did not spare any wrongdoer, any culprit, any defaulter were not left without giving the punishment. His Darbar court was very well disciplined. No one was allowed to talk and laugh without the permission of the Sultan. He enhanced the prestige and power of Sultan. He constructed many forts to save the frontiers, boundary area, to keep his kingdom safe from the enemies. Right? So these are the. Now next you see this slide. Once you have already seen, these are the architectural achievement of the Swiss dynasty ruler. Here Qutub Minar in Delhi, Fatul Islam in Delhi, and Dhai Din Ka Jhopra in Ajmer. All these were built by Qutubuddin Aibak. Now, this is the summary. Now, I had already assured you that I will say you about the question answer. If you have the book, you turn out the page of exercise questions. Here all these questions are there. You have already answered and I have explained it. So those who have not done, please say it. And today I will upload it. And by the help of these slides, you can solve your question answer. This is the question number D. Long question answer D. Right? First questions. Nasruddin. Right? Question is what? Name two literary gems of Qutubuddin Aibak's court. Right? It is another thing. Now here, this is the fill in the blanks. MCQ. First is Nasruddin. Second option is Alauddin. Third is Fatehpur. Fourth is Ruknuddin. And fifth, Hindus from paying jizya. Okay. In this way, this is the answer. Next is fill in the blanks. Qutubuddin Aibak, Sikandar Lodi, 1506 CE. Third, between whom battle was fought? Battle Panipat, Babur. At Panipat in 1526 CE. Society, caste was, Hindu society was based on caste. Trade was carried on both by sea and land. And third, who was the writer of Tarikh-e-Firoza Shahi, Ziauddin Barni. Okay. Now, next you see, match the following. You have already listened and you have answered. It is why I have prepared. Alauddin, Dhai Din Ka Jhopra, Ya Alai Darwaza, Taimur, Samarkand, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, Zuna Khan, Fatul Islam, Qutubuddin Aibak, Mahmud Gori, Prithviraj Chauhan. Okay. Here you see D section. Name the two literary figures, Hasan Azmi and Mubarak Shah. When battle was fought in 1526 between Babur and Ibrahim Lodi. What were the social evils in Sultanate period? Sati system, child marriage, then on widow remarriage, education. After that, rice, what were recorded? Rice, spice, indigo, textile. And last one is what? Muhammad bin Tughlaq and Alauddin Khalji. These both two rulers did not let the ulemas to interfere in their administration. Now through chat you can ask me if you have any problem. Here D section, E section you have already written, but if you have not written you will write. Okay. If you have any problem you can ask by your chat box. Okay. So If you have any problem, you can ask me.